Hello. Hello, everyone. You guys, did you hear any of the music? Give me a thumbs up. Do we have it? Okay. We're having fun. I'm determined that we're going to have fun on this show. Everybody's got a thumbs up. Joetta, can you hear me? All right, we got a thumbs up. We're ready to go. So tonight's episode is about Democrats have lost their damn mind. Now, is it just that they're Democrats and they've lost their mind? No, because everybody with me, all of us, we know we all lose our mind. Quite often I go after Republicans who lose their mind. But tonight is for the Democrats. I've saved the best for Democrats because they have really gone off the reservation, and it seems to be all over the place. So as you know, Education First Alliance, we cover the state. Literally, I mean, we're in Cherokee County. We're in New Hanover, Pitt County. I mean, we're just everywhere. So we've got a bit different of a view, a bit more context than a lot of you who are kind of in it right now, right? You might be parents who are volunteering at the polls. You might be a candidate. You might be, and you think, wow, is everybody this crazy? Yeah, it is. So it is this crazy right now. You know, it is a silly season. They say that, but it seems like it's weighted a little heavier on the Democrat side. So I'm going to kind of go over a couple of the stories that we have. We're going to go from Pitt County on. So you guys, we've been talking about this a lot now for the last 2 months. Pitt County and ECU in particular has a teacher training program, and they also have a gender clinic, a gender treatment clinic for 4 and up. Okay. What do you think they're doing in there? They're not playing tiddlywinks. Let me assure you of that. They are giving hormones. How do we know? We know we've done the reporting, released the tapes, and we've got 2 more tapes to go. So now we've got a pair of women like salt and pepper shakers, right? They are both running for Pitt County School Board, and they are directly attacking. Okay. And I'm going to tell you about Jennifer here on the right first. So Jennifer is the head of clinical family therapy. Okay. She's the head of clinical family therapy. Kelly, I agree with you that it's not okay, but here's what's worse. I have more respect for people who do what they do and don't hide. Jennifer has hidden her association as a practitioner with ECU. So once we came out, once we exposed her, she hid it. And now all of ECU, their LGBTQ program, their Jesse Peel Center, they took their entire Twitter down. You know what else besides diamonds lasts forever? You know, screenshots. We got them all, right? So again, Jennifer's in hiding. Kelly, to her credit, she's not hiding. She's out there and loud about this. This is a training, an LGBTQ training, really a transgender grooming indoctrination training for teachers in Pitt County and elsewhere that Kelly Weaver, the one on the left, she is a part of this training. She is the promoter for this. She's part of the training. She actually helped give the training. Check this out. The foundational concepts to this: heterosexism and cissexism, whatever the hell that is, are forms of oppression. So let me explain to you what that means, because as with, you know, all this left-wing stuff, I told you they lost their mind. I'm being really serious now. Heterosexism means this. So we have been, of course, inundated with the concept of white privilege, probably for the last 3 years. Okay? White privilege. This is straight privilege. Yes, this is teaching teachers, K through 12 in Pitt County and beyond, that being heterosexual is oppressive. Okay? Also, they're training teachers how to help children come out as gay or transgender. That's not a teacher's job. Most teachers, I don't really know any teachers that want that job to help. Now, this is called grooming. This is called grooming. This is what it looks like. And you'll notice here, the fourth bullet point, fifth bullet point down, respect, confidentiality. By the way, nowhere in this presentation does the word parent appear. Confidentiality, I'm telling you, it's parents, okay? Some of the resources that this training gives, again, Kelly Weaver, Pitt County, Democrat, school board candidate, the resources, check this out. What you're looking at are adult-led groups, giving adult-led group contacts to children and to teachers. Now you're going to see, oh, Sloan, you're all wet. Kelly Weaver couldn't possibly be involved. She's a Democrat. She's a good Democrat, right? Here you see, right over here on the right. So it's our job to point these out, okay? So that's what's going on. Kelly, it's not okay. It's definitely not. You can hear me now? Julissa, you can definitely hear me now because I am talking a little loud because I'm getting excited. Sherry, I happen to agree with you. Okay, so here's the deal. I did this story, is East Carolina partnering with schools to market pediatric gender clinic? Yeah, they are actually. So they can take down their pages all they want. They actually are. So that's one of our stories on Ed First. So check this out. Here is a third professor. 3. So we can't do a salt and pepper shaker analogy. It has to be a 3, a trifecta, okay? This is the third person running, because I can't call her a female, right? Because I might misgender her. So person. All right. She's running in Martin County, and she's cray. What you see on the left is she was arrested, Amy Swain. Amy Swain is the woman. She was arrested for protesting in the middle of the street. She was laying down in Durham with the NCAE. She was protesting and nobody really knows what. So she is a radical left NCAE teachers union crazy. Now I got to support my thesis that she's crazy. Is upward mobility and education. They go hand in hand, right? Okay, Breaking Bad with kids. One kid is 11. I've seen her kids, and it looks to me that the other kid is younger. I don't know if you've ever watched Breaking Bad, but it like has scenes of cooking meth, selling meth, getting away with it, people having their heads chopped off and their bodies burned with acid, and hardcore sex scenes. So if she's watching this with your kid or with her kids, what will she condone with your kids? Okay. Typical white progressive woman. The legacy of enslavement, white supremacy rules where I am, where I live. And don't forget to vote for me on November 8th. It's a great morning to remember that the United States is illegitimate, pretty much, and was built on stolen lands and move accordingly. Again, this is during the campaign. So she's, I got to give her credit. She's really out about this. She's not hiding any of this. Okay. And then she even takes a dig at ECU, alleging that they're using people of color as pawns. I hope that's not true. I don't have any evidence to present it's true, but guess what? Neither does she. And another thing absent from what Amy Swain is saying, that almost every single Democrat right now running is absent from policy. What is your policy? I will agree with anyone who says this. Black and brown students are very behind. Their learning loss was only made worse by school closures. That is a fact. That is common sense, and it is supported by the data. What I'm not hearing from Democrats are 2 things. Number 1, an apology for keeping the schools closed, an apology for calling us white supremacists because we wanted the schools open. Secondly, I'm not getting any serious plans on how they would curtail the learning loss. What we see is a bunch of BS about learning loss. What learning loss? We need more love. That scares the hell out of me, and I think it should scare the hell out of every voter. This is absolutely insane, right? I mean, this is insane. They caused the problem, and now that the jury's in, if you will, they're saying, well, we need more love. That goes again to the Republicans are hateful and right? So take a look at this slide again. Have we not heard in this country these sort of tropes too often? Yes, we have. And we're especially hearing these from people that don't actually have a plan on how to turn this around. What we need are serious policies for helping all students spin out of this learning loss. That's what we need. That's what we're hearing from our candidates that we back, right? We have a plan. A lot of Republicans have plans on this. High intensity tutoring is one thing. Not wasting time on social emotional learning. Did you know that all 12 academic subjects by law in North Carolina have to have social emotional learning? So let's say that a teacher was required to have 15 minutes of social emotional learning 3 times a week. Do you know what 45 minutes of lost instructional times in math can do and how much further that can set people back? Ooh, sorry guys, that was thunder. I don't know if you heard it. It says children back, so it only makes the problem worse, right? We need solutions that are going to make the problem better. Okay, so the 3 Democrats are acting in a crazy way. I think not putting out policy prescriptions is pretty crazy. Now let's move to Wake County. Let's get to the fun, if you will, at the polls. We are finding that there is a coordinated effort by the NCAE, which is the Radical Teachers Union, and others to intimidate our poll greeters and others and voters at the poll, and to abuse the legal system in an effort to intimidate folks that are doing their federally protected activity of being at the polls, greeting voters, and participating in elections. Now, Wake County, we have reported through today three different locations. Holly Springs is one of them. 3 different locations in Wake that were not solid Democrat at 3 different precincts or 3 different early voting locations. So we're not seeing it at places where, the Democrats know they have a lock, right? We're seeing it where maybe they're on the bubble. So here's how this little scheme works. There will be poll workers who show up and who stand way, way, way far away from our guys or our gals who may be helping our conservative candidates. And they will start literally performing that they're scared, they feel intimidated, they're worried, and they will literally call the police. Now, in one or two cases, lawyers were called. So lawyers that the NCAE and I think maybe the Democrat Party have, lawyers were called out there as a means to intimidate not only candidates, but poll workers. Now, I know, and I've heard this from a lot of people today that, gosh, Sloan, you know what? I'm a homeschool mom. I work at my church. I'm just a part-time person. I'm not equipped for this. I want to tell you this right now, and I want you to hear this. You need to accept this situation as just an occupational hazard. I don't care if they call the police. I don't care if they drum up fake charges on you. And we'll talk about that in a minute. This is the cost of doing business. You cannot cower. You cannot be afraid. You have to stand strong. We have to stand strong, and we will do it together. But this is what they're doing, guys. Now, let's move to Cabarrus County. If you read our story today, and I know you did, right? You read everything that we put out there. We actually have a candidate who would rather spend all day Wednesday in court going after a constituent than she would with voters. So here's who you're looking at. Her name is Diamond Staton-Williams. She is running in Cabarrus County. So she's running for House in District 73. So we had a couple of volunteers out who were helping on a school board campaign. And again, in this country, you have freedom of speech. You get to do these things. And Miss Williams went down to a magistrate and she said, I feel threatened because this woman has stared at me. I am not kidding you. The complains about this woman staring in about 3 different places. So here's what we wrote. The same day that Miss Staton-Williams went on her own constituent, because she's on town council now. This is her own constituent. Homeschool mom. So Twitter, she takes to Twitter. I love all you guys. I'm here for my constituents, and I'm never going to give you up. I'm never going to let you down. I'm never going to run around, desert you, and I'm never going to tell a lie and hurt you. She broke that damn campaign promise like that because she deliberately and willfully hurt one of her own constituents. Now, the judge kind of agreed with me in that she didn't have any evidence, right? But this is a pattern for her, and this is a pattern of totalitarian dictators. Look, we've got several sources that have come to us and said, this woman, Staton-Williams, has absolutely terrorized people with whom she disagrees with by sending a deluge of emails to employers of her colleagues who disagree with her, alleging racism. Racism is a serious thing, and if it actually happens, it needs to be punished. There's no question about that. But according to these reports, these have been false claims, and it has really hurt people a lot. We're seeing that she's willing to go down to court and take out what's called a 50C. So I want to talk to you guys about that. We have seen this happen all over the state. Journalists have seen it. Our team has seen it. A 50C is this. And actually, these are quite serious. Okay. 50C means this is you go down if you're being stalked or seriously harassed. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And you can get a ex parte or a temporary emergency restraining order. They don't always give them. Okay. Only if the magistrate agrees that, they err on the side of caution. Okay. They will err on the side of caution. Sometimes they'll give them, sometimes in this case, they didn't. But guys, I'm not talking about, if somebody is driving by your house, if they're watching you at events, following your events, tracking your events, threatening to harm you. I've dealt with that. We've dealt with that. That's a serious thing. That's what this is made for. But sometimes people will try to intimidate you and take these out to silence you. And what happens is you will have to go to court, and the judge is the mediator, sometimes a lawyer, but the judge is a mediator, and will say, look, protected speech it's sacrosanct in this country. You may not shut it down. So basically what Diamond Staton-Williams and others abuse this, they want the government to come in and silence speech on one side or the other. So people who do this and abuse the system, that's called censorship. Marxist totalitarians do that. Law enforcement, they're familiar with these kind of tactics. They deal with it all the time. Here's where they deal with it when it's abused, by the way. I'm not saying it's not needed. It's absolutely needed in certain circumstances. But see, this happens a lot to rape victims where they'll be raped or sexually assaulted. And immediately the perpetrator will go out and take a 50C out. Why? So they can continually abuse this person, this victim, and silence them. That's why we're working to make this unlawful. We've had an instance where folks have sent me neo-Nazi propaganda. They have sent things to my home. We've been very open about this, and then done the same thing to me to silence me. So this is a tactic that we are seeing coming up. And I believe that the NCAE and others, certainly the Democrats, are going to try to do this to intimidate and threaten us. So here's what we can do. First of all, we're going to help everyone who is going through this. We have set up a legal fund. We've got our first $25,000 in that legal fund, and we are going to help folks not only defend themselves, but take the next step. So we've got a 3-step process that we are going to do. First of all, we are going to collect information from all of you. Wherever this is happening, we want to know. Number one, we're going to expose the people who are abusing the legal system. Legitimately, like if you're doing something wrong, do not call us. But if this is being abused, right, and a judge finds that that is the case, there's something you can do after, and it's called abusive process lawsuit. We're going to pay for those, because if someone knowingly abuses the system and they're doing it for an alternative means, in other words, let's say they take out cyber stalking charges on you or what have you, and it's not merited. And then they turn right around and they tell everyone in your life, she's a criminal. She's a criminal. And then you're acquitted or found not guilty or whatever. You can think maybe I haven't done anything wrong and they're doing it. Maybe they took these charges out to humiliate me. Well, there's massive damages in something like that, abusing the court system. So first of all, back to the first step, we're going to expose the folks who are politically going after each and every one of us. We're allowed in this country to peacefully protest and to express our opinions about politics and have spirited debates with anyone, right? We're allowed to do that. We're not going to be intimidated. We're not going to back down. So we want to go to the community members where these abusers are doing this, to the public. Everyone in the specific community needs to know that, hey, Sally or Jane or Paul, they're abusing the legal system and it might happen to you. How are we going to do that? Maybe if it's political, it's direct mailers. We'll drop 20,000 mailers in their area and let everyone know this is what this person does. This is political. This is what this person does, right? We will certainly work with our media partners, and we have a lot to make sure they're exposed. Why? It is a public service to let people know that there are political petty tyrants running around, and just because they don't like what you have to say politically, that they're going to shut you down. Everyone needs to know. It's everyone's business. Secondly, we are going to aggressively help people fight. We're going to raise money to make sure that they get the opportunity to sue for damages if it is warranted. We are not lawyers. We don't even have legal services at all. But if you have one and it's warranted and you're really being abused, because these things, I mean, it's emotional for a lot of people. It can damage your reputation. It can damage your standing in the community, especially if these abusers are going around telling everyone. It can cost you money. It can cost you your job. We're going to make sure that we fight back, and we fight back hard. So, abusive process. The other side will have to hire their own lawyer to fight that charge, and then they'll understand maybe that, hey, I'm going to settle my differences civilly rather than abusing the legal system. And then finally, we have contacted and are in talks for the past month with several public interest law firms who are very keen on preserving the rights of free speech. When the legal system is abused, like I believe it has been in Cabarrus County, like I believe it has been in other places, that's everybody's business. That's censorship. That's everybody's business. Everybody needs to know and fight. So public interest lawyers are lawyers that come in and they can take things all the way to Supreme Court. Now, what's really good for public interest lawyers are appeals, right? Because if you're in the political realm, and I know this sounds scary and terrible, but I guess it's the world we live in today. But if you a jury or a judge doesn't find for you on appeal is really politically where you really make your bones, because in the appeals court, which will uphold your constitutional rights, that's where this stuff starts getting really publicized, and a lot of attention and a lot of case law gets made at that level. So what I'm here to tell you is, do not be afraid. They want you to be afraid. They want you to cower. They want you to stop fighting. They want you to stop speaking. They want to intimidate you. All of us, we're law-abiding citizens, right? We don't do anything to warrant this kind of abuse. Okay? Shelley, a public record? Yes. That's another thing, Shelley. The thing that's really terrible is that when someone goes and makes allegations against you, by the way, a 50C, a requirement is that two things. Number one, you have to have broken a law. So let's say I have broken a law by following someone or whatever. Okay? Broken a law. And then the person has to be terrified. So those two things happen. If you know those things haven't happened, right, then maybe you don't have a case, right? Just saying. If you're doing it for that reason, if you're legitimately worried, that's totally different. So, and again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to know the law. I'm dumb about law altogether. But we have been talking for the last 2 months with lawyers who are very good at this and are seeing this is kind of a pattern, right? This is kind of pattern here. They are bullies. It is horrible. So back to Shelley, I don't even think I told you, a public record. Yes, unfortunately, this is public. When someone goes and makes these complaints, it is public. And for a lot of us, we're like, wow, okay. This has been done to me in bad faith, and it's public, and everybody's going to find out about it. Right? But I want you to know that they'll have their fun. Right? But if what they're doing is in bad faith and not proper and like a coordinated political attack, there are recourses. And I want to tell you that we are here for you. We are here for you. We are coming together in ways that we've never come together before. And I know we're talking about Democrat craziness, and Democrats are this is what their playbook is. We have some Democrats who have done this to each other and who are actually talking to us and giving us legal help on this front, because it's wrong to do it no matter what party that you're in, right? So just to recap tonight, Democrats losing their damn mind. They're at the polls trying to stir up controversy and trying to call the police and lawyers and drag people into court. Not cool. Out east, they're looking to have 2 connections on the school board in Pitt County that have the direct pipeline from the classroom to the clinical treating room and maybe to the operating room. And then we got a woman that's cray in Martin County. Her name's Amy Swain. That she's like, the country's racist, schools are racist, etc., blah, blah, blah. But she's the racist. Do you want to know why? The learning loss problem that affected Black and brown students the most. She's blowing it off and saying, why are we worried here, folks? What we need here is love. Upward mobility is guaranteed through education. That's what gets all people out of poverty. That's a great equalizer. So we need to figure out ways to, real plans, right, to actually get past this learning loss. I recommended cutting out the social emotional learning right off the bat. Let's get right back to the basics, right? Bam, bam, bam. A lot of our people are advocating for that. But we need real policies right now. And so lastly, I'm going to tell you again, email us, text us, hit us up, edfirstnc.org. Sign up for the newsletter if you have not already, but I'm telling you, you need to contact us. There are strength in numbers, and we have a lot of numbers. We are not going to let you guys be bullied. We're not going to have it. We're going to stand up for our rights. Kelly, if you were here, I would hug your neck. Thank you. Donations, go to edfirstnc.org. That's edfirstnc.org. And there's a donation button, and you just mash that button. Okay, just press that donation button. Yeah, we need the donations. We need to expose and hold accountable. We will not be coward. It's not going to happen. Okay, so guys, thank you for tuning in. Share this. Let everybody know this. Stand strong, right? And understand this is part of, look, if they ask you with this, tell yourself, well, it's a Monday, right? I mean, this is part of doing what we do. All right. I hope you guys have a great night, and we're going to update you probably on Wednesday night. All right. Happy Halloween. Bye.